Good day everyone. Today I will help you get started with the ESP8266. I will give you the basic code and show you the connection diagram, and you should be able to, within a few minutes, get it working and posting to ThingSpeak. Right, so now the ESP8266 can operate in two ways. You can either operate it by sending AT commands to it, or you can also write a program that you would write the same as you would write for your Arduino inside the ESP chip, and the ESP chip can then operate on its own. But today's example, we will take an Arduino and we will send AT commands to the ESP chip, and it will then function in that way. So let's start. So this is the aim of this example. We will take the Arduino, we will write the sketch for the Arduino, and it will communicate that sketch via the transmit-receive, the serial communication, to the ESP chip, and the ESP chip will then send data to ThingSpeak. So we will take a single data value and we will instruct the ESP chip via the serial communication to send this data value to ThingSpeak, and we will also create a channel on ThingSpeak, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So before we start with that, there's different modules available of the ESP chip, and this one, the ESP01, that's the one that we're going to use in the example. And I suggest when you try to get started with this, start with this example, start with the 01, and later on you can go to other modules as well. And I can just maybe show you some of them. This one is a development module, and it's also got a display on it, which is very nice to use also. Here's another development module. You can see it's got a micro USB, so it's got a onboard voltage regulator for the 3.3 volt. Also nice to do development on. Then you've got the this is the module 12. So you must mount this on a PCB, and I would suggest that you first use a module like this to do your development, and then later you can deploy the work on this one with your then of course we've got the 01. This is the one that we're going to use in the experiment, and we're going to use it as it is. We're not going to change the firmware of this chip. We'll keep the firmware as it is, and we will just communicate to it and let it send data to ThingSpeak. You can of course program the ESP module itself with a programmer like this one that just connects to your USB, and you can program, you can put a program directly on the microcontroller there, and you can use it as it is, as a standalone module. Just something else that I also want to show you. You've got a problem and with the pins of the ESP01 not being breadboard friendly, so you get a little converter like this where you can plug this in, and you can then easily insert it in your breadboard like that. So that could help you a little bit. So the different ESP modules that you get, it's got different amount of IOs, and this is basically specified, so you will decide on one, and like I said, I suggest you start with the 01, get it going, and then you can move on from there onwards. The company that manufactures this is AI Thinker, and they were looking for a cheap type of Wi-Fi chip, and they developed that, and you can really see this used all over today in IoT, Internet of Things applications. So our aim would be to put data on ThingSpeak. Typically this will be data that's displayed on ThingSpeak. In today's experiment we are just going to take a single value and we're going to just add one to it and send it every time to ThingSpeak. So in ThingSpeak you will generate a channel. That's the first thing. So you'll register on ThingSpeak and you'll generate for yourself a new channel, or do a new channel, and there's just a button like that you press. You can give the channel a name and each channel's got 8 fields. Now ThingSpeak is for free. You can post 3 million messages per year for free. As soon as you go over that, you have to pay for the service. But for normal small projects and testing, 3 million is quite a bit of messages. There's a few other settings that you can do per channel. You can, for instance, if you've got a website for it, you can name the website. You can make it public or private. Remember, if it's private, only you can see it. If it's public, then everybody can see this. You can put the location in. You can add a YouTube video where you explain your project and so on. So there's quite a bit of information that you can add to your channel, and you can make it public as well. Then, very important, your channel's got 2 keys, a write key and a read key, and you'll need the write key for this application because we're going to write data to ThingSpeak. Just a quick on the connections. Very important, we put a 1000 microfarad cap over the 3.3 volt. The reason for that is that the ESP module draws a lot of current when it transmits, but it's in short bursts. Now, either you're going to supply it with a decent 3.3 volt supply, or you can use the 3.3 volt of your Arduino Uno. It does work, but you need to put a capacitor there to just buffer the amount of current. Then next connection is ground of the ESP to ground of the Arduino. VCC of the ESP to 3.3 volt. This is important, the 3.3 volt module of the Arduino. Then your CHPD to 3.3 volt and your reset also to 3.3 volt, important for this application. Then your transmit of your ESP to the receive of the Arduino, and your receive of your ESP to the transmit of the Arduino for your serial communication. So let's have a look quickly at the program before we go to the actual program, over to the actual programming. You will see the sample program I'll provide in the description below the video, or in a comment below the video. Just a bit of information here, again, just the cap and the basic couplings like we've discussed just now. Then you define your SSID, this is your Wi-Fi name where it must connect. You define your password here, put your own Wi-Fi and password in there. This stays exactly the same, the IP of ThingSpeak, and then you will need your key that you must put in here. That is the key in ThingSpeak, your write key, and I will show in ThingSpeak again where to get this key. We've also discussed that. Now in your setup part, you just start your baud rate at 15200. The module standard is set up for 15200, the firmware on the module, so keep it at that. You will then just send a command to the module, AT, that's an AT command, and you should get a reply of OK. And this is just to see if you get that reply, and your test value you make 1. test value is just a value that we're going to send to ThingSpeak. So at the moment in the setup we make this 1. Then here's our main loop. We will start, character is a buffer of 10. Update your readings is the next function that you'll call, and we'll get to that. Then we will send the values that you've got from this function, and we will have a delay of 1 second, and we will do this over again. Remember that for free subscription, I think there's a 16 seconds limit in the period between your posts, so you cannot go faster than 16 seconds. So you can post basically every 16 seconds to ThingSpeak. Alright, so in the update readings function, the only thing that I've got there is I'll just take that test value. You can remember it in the setup of 1, and I just increment it by 1, and we will transmit that. In the next time the loop comes past, it will just be incremented. That's just to see some movement on your ThingSpeak channel. Now here's your send function. Your send function basically consists out of 80 commands, and then also you're going to construct a command line by adding certain parts to that line. So you start here at the start, you will see your string command is equal to, and your string basically starts there. If this is the first part of your string, the second part will be that part there, the third part will be that part there, and then you'll print that to your serial communication. You'll wait for 2.5 seconds, and then you will start to build another command as well, and you'll include the message which is defined earlier in this code. Then you'll take your first field, and you can see that's just printed there, and then we'll put the value in the first field. And if you need a second field, you can go on and you can just repeat field 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until 8 there. Then you've got these two ends of the command, and then you will send that. You'll first put this 80 command to put the chip in the correct mode there, and then you'll calculate the length of this command line of yours, which is important. That must be sent together with that. And then you'll have, if the serial port is then from the serial port you get this character, then you can start and print your command line. Else you will close. So if the serial port, if from this command here, if it doesn't respond with this character, then you will basically terminate the transmission. Alright, and this is then just also 80 commands to connect to the Wi-Fi. You can see this function, connect to Wi-Fi. There's 80 commands that connects to the Wi-Fi. Alright, so I think we can go to the bench, and we will quickly build our, let's first go to the display, here's our program exactly as we've, here's our sketch exactly as we've done in the presentation. You can see it's exactly the same, and we'll upload that to the board just now. But let's quickly build our project, and we'll start with our ESP module there. And right, so from your sketch here you can see VCC to 3.3, so I take the VCC to 3.3 volts in there. I then take the ground to the ground. There's the ground to the ground of the Arduino. You can use any one of the 3 grounds. The next one here is our CHPD to 3.3 volts. So your CHPD, you will just take that also to 3.3 volt, and I'm just going to move 3.3 volt here to this rail because we've got more that must go in there. So again, just our VCC to this rail, and then our reset must also be connected to, and we'll see the reset is there. Your reset, you will put that to 3.3 volts as well. All right. The next thing is our RX to TX and TX to RX. So here's our TX of our module, and we'll take that to RX. In this case of the Uno, it's pin number 0, and we'll take then also our RX of the module to the TX of the Arduino, and that's basically our coupling there. I'm just going to open my cell phone here, and you can see I've got the mobile hotspot on there. Not sure if you can see it there, mobile hotspot on, and you can see the ESP module connected there to the, were connected there to the mobile. So, but I've removed it now, and I'm just going to switch it on and off. And you will see there's no connection at the moment, no devices connected. Not sure if this camera will focus there. No devices there. And alright, so we will now program our board, upload this code to it. Please remember, when you work with the transmit receive line on 0 and 1, that you just remove it when you program. Now, I haven't checked the board is still on a Uno, and the port is also correct, so that is alright. So it's busy compiling the sketch, and it's uploading. Alright, done upload, and I can now put the 0 and 1 back again. Alright, so, and immediately here on the, I just want to move it a little bit. Immediately here you can see that we are connected. There's the ESP module is connected to this Wi-Fi, and of course the password and Wi-Fi name is the same as the hotspot on my phone. Right, so we're there. Now, the thing is, you need in ThingSpeak, and I just want to go there quickly, and I'm going to create a new channel here for you so that you can see, and we can name the channel anything. Let's say test 1, and we're only going to use the 1 field, and let's make that field name test value. Test value, and I'm not going to bother with the rest now. So I'm creating this channel. There's my channel, and it's got 1 field. I now go to the API keys here, and let me just open this display for you. The key that I need is this right key, it's this one here. I will just copy this, and I will go to my Arduino IDE. Okay, here's it, and I will put it in there. So I'll just put it in there. There's the key, and obviously I must now just flash it again with this code because I've changed it. So again, I will remove the transmit and receive wires, the 0 and the 1 digital port. It will compile, it's busy compiling, busy uploading, or it's done upload. I'll put them back. Alright, and now I want to go back to the channel and we'll look at the private view. Of course, we haven't made this channel public. So, and there you can see right now the first value was posted, and we'll wait for the second one. Of course, we will increment it and send it again, and it will take about 16 seconds, and there you can see the second value communicated to ThingSpeak. And it's really as easy as this. There's a few things that you must remember. Do not flash your ESP module with other firmware, because we use the standard firmware in this example. In other examples, we will put different firmware on the ESP module, but in this case we use the standard firmware, and we just communicate from the Arduino to the ESP module. So that's important. Second thing that's important, remember that 1000 microfarad capacitor over 3.3 volt, couple it to 3.3 volt, transmit to receive, and receive to transmit wires. Use the sample code and you should be up and running in a very short time. I really hope this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.